No.
Okay, I would like to call the first Bldc meeting under the new administration of Jared Graham to order. Okay, I hope everyone has, I'd like to introduce, of course, our new board member, Patrick Doyle, Susan Farrell, and City Councilman Tom Scanlon. Welcome aboard, and it's going to be a wonderful ride. We're going to do a lot of great things together. First, I'd like to call for the approval of the minutes of the December 16th meeting. I hope you've all had a chance to look at it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by the mayor. I second. Ron Saul second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so approved. Next, we have the presentation of the December 2021 financial report.
Okay.
Rachel?
Yep, so we are gonna start on page 4 with the restricted account. The end of month balance in the restricted account is $1,117,480.47. We will go now to page 6 for the UDAG account. The end of month balance in the UDAG account is $1,180,479.29. The next page, page 7, the loans receivable. On the top under the UDAG loans, that first section here, 142 Court Street has paid. They were a few months behind. They have paid up through January. So that's not reflected in this report, but they paid in January, all the way up through January. One North Depot and Tom Haynes, they have paid, but we are having an issue with Chase right now, where Chase is not allowing checks that are made out to BLDC anymore. All checks have to be made out to Binghamton Local Development Corporation. So several borrowers paid, but Chase would not accept their checks. So we had to ask that their checks be reissued. We are still in that process with Tom Haynes and with One North Depot. Tom Haynes is in Martha's Vineyard until April. So if they do not allow us to change the wording and initial his checks, he will not be able to pay until April. But we're still working on that. But they did try to pay. And the same issue with the other North Depot loan. Down at the bottom, the emergency COVID loans, both New Tab and DPG Holdings have paid off. So if we go to page 8, there's been no activity in the unrestricted account. Page 9, there's been no activity in the triad or in the the triad account. Page 10, no activity in the veterans account. And page 11, no activity in the grant account. On the delinquency page, these loans are still very much in default, except for Innovation and Imaging. They just paid as of yesterday. So they are all caught up as of yesterday through January. Does anyone, oh, I'm sorry, the delinquency percentage of all the loans not designated as non-performing for the month of December was 0.18. Anyone have any questions?
Any of the new members have any questions about the financial report?
Hey, Ron, I'll make this statement. If anybody has any questions about the financials, give me a call and I can go through the financials with them individually. Anything with the loans, call Rachel or Joel. They understand the loans, the details behind all of that.
Okay, any questions? Okay. Now, under old business, update on the Bates Troy proposed option agreement for Charles Street Business Park parcel.
Sure. I put in a note to Brian Cragen. He was out of town for the first part of this month. So we're hoping to connect actually tomorrow and kind of an update on the final details of that. I think he received some update on state funding one way or another. So I just have to connect with him and to finalize that agreement. So I don't have any updates as our contact was out of town for most of the month.
Now, has he been approached about the new amount? Like Pear brought up a couple issues last time, which
Yep.
were spot on. So have we upped the cost per acre?
That's what I'm trying to contact him about.
Oh, okay.
So I sent him an email. He was out of town and trying to connect with him this week. He's available tomorrow. So both the, I think the new price and then trying to get a more specific outline of his timeline so we can reflect that in the option as well. I think, their proposal was for maybe even multiple years. But we want to make sure that maybe that's a shorter time frame if they don't really need that longer time frame. But that's what I want to talk to them about.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you. New business. Oh, excuse me, any questions of the mayor? Okay, new business. Nomination approval of BLDC officers and committee membership. We have a few members from the past administration that have chosen not to serve at this point. So we do need to nominate a couple of new officers. First, I would like to personally nominate for president of the BLDC board, Patrick Doyle.
I second that nomination.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay?
Nobody's opposed.
Not yet, Patrick. Give us another meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so approved.
Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be.
It's all yours, kid.
Is there any other business before the board this morning?
Yes, we have to nominate.
Oh, we have to have other officers, right?
Yep, so vice president is also vacant currently.
Okay. So do we have nominations for vice president?
I nominate Susan Farrell.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that nomination.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Any comments? I
All in
move
favor?
to
Aye.
approve. Aye.
Any?
Aye.
Carries unanimously.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Officers as of right now is Patrick as president, Susan is vice president, and then we'll carry over the other officers, correct? Okay,
Yes.
great.
So we don't have to do anything about that then.
I don't believe so.
So there are also a couple of vacancies on a couple of our committees. There's currently a vacancy on the finance committee and on the governance committee.
And was the previous president serving on the finance committee?
Yes, so the previous president, vice president, and one other member, and then the corp council.
Okay,
That's the finance committee.
yes, same thing, yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's the two most qualified for the finance.
So is that?
I move that
Yeah.
the finance committee include the following.
So it would include the president, Patrick Doyle, as the chairperson, vice president Susan Farrell, Brian Seacrest as corp counsel. There was one other member previously, but I don't, does it have to have 4 members? I don't think it has to have 4 members. Okay, so that is the finance committee. The governance committee right now has the corp counsel or would have the corp counsel as the chairperson, Per Stromhag, and 1 vacant position. I believe we do need 1 other member to join the governance committee.
I'll nominate Ron Saul to serve on the governance committee.
Second that.
I second that.
Yay. You're a little late, but that's okay. All in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
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 Okay, and then the audit and strategic priorities committees will remain the same with the new board president replacing the old board president on those committees.
Any further business?
I do remarks at the end here. Oh, the mayor. That's
I'll
okay.
get used to this. Mayor, go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Susan Farrell and Patrick for joining the BLDC. These are folks that are experienced in economic development, and I think will be really valuable members of our team here and continue the work that the BLDC has been doing. And then also, forge some new paths, and I'm really excited about that. Just to give the board some updates on some ongoing projects, continuation of some things that have happened, and also some new things. I know that the Front and Oak Street housing development, which has been discussed here in the past, developer Sal Rajput has closed on the property, and that the former, I believe, Faduke car dealership on the corner of Clinton and Front and Oak is under new ownership. We're working with Saul, his legal counsel, as well as the agency to finalize details of that on next steps for what he needs. This is in pursuit of a mix of affordable housing and commercial space there on Front Street on the west side. As we mentioned before, continuing interest in the Charles Street Business Park, not only from Bates Troy, but we also have some other follow-ups, individuals that have sought information, sought meetings with my office. And so when it comes a point where we need to bring these opportunities to the board, we'll do so. But I will say that there's more engaged interest in the Charles Street Business Park than any time that I can sort of recall in recent memory, which is a good problem to have. Demolition continues on the Water Street parking ramp. If not been circulated yet, Boscov's has expressed a letter of interest to purchase their property. I'm supportive of this. I think it provides Boscov's their best opportunity to get incentives and the funding available to fix the infrastructure of the store. It also gets the BLDC and the IDA out of the landlord business, which is always a positive thing. So, they need to do a lot of due diligence. They need to look at what exactly happens, but we've shared the letter of interest with the agency. And when it comes a point in time where we have additional information, we'll bring that to the board for their consideration. I think that Boscov's is again committed to sticking around Binghamton. They see the future that's happening with the Water Street Garage. We've been able to assist them in a part-time basis with some parking on street, which has helped them out during the holiday season and now even beyond. So myself, Chuck Shager, we're having a lot of different conversations with Boscov's on their future, but I believe that the future is bright and they are very serious about getting ownership of that store and making the investments they need to. Another couple of things that have happened since the last meeting, the Treasury Department has issued final guidance on the use of American Recovery Plan Act fund, ARPA funds. I have to imagine that economic development priorities will be part of the city's spending goals on that. I'm reviewing all of the details with our third-party accounting firm, Bonadio, who's doing a lot of the regulatory work on this, as well as with our controller. But I imagine that we'll be wanting to identify and fund strategic economic development initiatives that fall within the allowable categories of ARPA, whether that be housing, whether that be job creation, workforce development. But that final rule has come out, and it even broadens what was previously allowable under the ARPA funds, which is good news for municipalities. And finally, the Stadium District Master Plan has been finalized and adopted by City Council. We'll make sure that all members of the BLDC get a copy of that. It's a really important part of our downtown and to leverage the investments that we've made at Mirabito Stadium. It provides a blueprint and a sort of actionable project list to improve the neighborhood environment surrounding the stadium, increase walkability, improve housing opportunities, as well as just business opportunities. You know, we have thousands of people from across our region who go to that stadium on an annual basis. We want to make sure that they stick around. They're spending money down there. They're supporting our merchants in a way that maybe hasn't been done in the past. So I look forward to working with the BLDC to implement a lot of those projects identified, whether it's an infrastructure, new housing. I think we can really create a vibrant stadium district like you see in so many other big cities. So with that, that's my updates for this month. And again, I thank Susan and Patrick for coming on board. I thank the existing members of the BLDC for continuing their service. And I think we've got a great year ahead of us and many more years ahead of us as well. So thank you.
Can I make one suggestion?
Sure.
That board members that are interested, can they get badges so they can get in the building a little easier?
Yes. Yes, we can do that.
You know, the respect of walking through without having to.
Mhm. Is that something you can mention to Lori?
Will
Okay, we'll get you a badge and a sticker.
Yeah, I'm set, but I was thinking more of
Okay.
others that, you know,
Okay.
Susan might not have yet, and Pear might
Right.
have. Joe obviously does, and Tom obviously does.
I know.
And, you know, Betsy was.
Yep.
I pointed to.
We'll make sure
That's
that
number one.
we get ID badges and everything.
It just
for the
makes it
meeting.
easy to get in when we have a meeting.
Sure.
Oh, okay, great.
The other thing is, have you ever talked to Mike Macy yet? Well, this could be off the record.
I have before, but not anything specific.
Okay.
But
Sure,
sure.
he owns that big property where Columbia Gas was,
Corner of Tompkins and
which is kind of a game. Because it's between the two, probably between the Brandywine and that cut-in street where the stadium is.
Mhm. Yep, we had some discussions, pre-COVID on some opportunities there that I think fizzled out, but I'm happy to touch base with you after the meeting and I can give you some further details.
Okay, because he and I are very close, and
Good.
I know he would love to find something.
It's a strategic parcel. I mean, it's a gateway to a lot of different areas of the county even. You can get really anywhere in about 10 minutes from that place, so. And it's out of the floodplain, I believe, because it sits up a little bit.
Anything further for the mayor? What's that?
There's my smile, great for first meeting. Anyone call the meeting to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.